So hello everyone, and welcome to today's lesson. So we've gone over the whole minor pentatonic scale in the 5-class series, and we're going to be now playing that whole pattern, that whole scale, all 5 patterns, in a more fun way. So instead of just running up and down the patterns, right? We're going to do it 3-note runs. So this is how it'll be. Okay, so we'll do that slowly and we'll go through it. There's a simple pattern to it, so it's all the same. As we go through, as usual, I'll have the tabs up here somewhere around me so that you can see what I'm doing and you can see the notes as we're going through. But we're going to use the same 5 patterns that we've used before. So if you've gone through that series, you know them already. And the way we're going to run up with the 3-note pattern is the same the whole time. So we're not going to go through one note at a time because you already know what the notes are. But it's the same pattern. So the whole pattern is the 3-note run is forward 1 note, back 1 note, back to the first note, and that's it. Forward 1 note, back 1 note, back to the first note, and then forward 1 note again. So forward 1 note, back 1 note, back to the first note. So just so you understand what I'm talking about, let's go through slowly just the first 2 strings. So we're starting in the first pattern in the key of F. So we're starting on 1st fret will be the barred part. The first pattern begins here. This is the first position, and it's forward 1 note, back 1 note, back to the first note, forward 1 note, back 1 note, back to the first note, forward 1 note, back 1 note, back to the first note. And that's the whole pattern repeating itself. Those are the 3 notes. So just so you see exactly what I mean, the first note that we would start on in pattern 1 in key of F would be the first finger on the 1st fret of the 6th string. So forward 1 note from there would be the 2nd note in the pattern, pinky on the 4th fret of the 6th string. Back 1 note, which means the 1st note of the scale. Back to the 1st note, which was the pinky. And then forward 1 note from the pinky, which would be 1st finger, 5th string, 1st fret. Back 1 note would be the pinky. Back to the 1st note, which is 1st finger, 1st fret, 5th string. And continuing on from there. Then it would be 3rd finger on 3rd fret, and so on and so on and so on. So forward 1 note, back 1 note, back to the 1st note. Okay? Let's do the first pattern like that so you can see it up here. And then coming back down from there, again, we're going to go, so going backwards, of course, it's the same pattern. So forward 1 note, and there's so many different ways you can do this. But we'll just go through this way. And feel free to play around with this in 3-note runs. You know, you can do all different stuff, like. But we're going to go like this. Forward 1 note, back 1 note, back to the 1st note. So we're going to go forward 1 note from the pinky, which means backwards. We're going backwards. So backwards 1 note. So it would be the 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 1st string. And then back 1 note, pinky. Back to the 1st note, which would be 1st finger, 1st fret, 1st string. And then forward another note. Back 1 note. Okay, back to the 1st note. Just like that, same thing, just reversed. So I'll go slowly. that's it. So this is the pattern. I'll have it written out here for you. If you have any questions, feel free to comment and ask me, but it's pretty clear. Forward one note, back one note, back to the first note, and that just happens in reverse, so it's flipped. If you want to call it back one note, forward one note, back to the first note, however you want to say it, but that's what we're doing, okay? Same pattern. So now we're just going to move through the other 5 patterns slowly so you can see, and we'll just go up, then down, okay? I'll just run through them without narrating, but I'll give you the tabs somewhere around me. So slowly now through pattern 2. So now pattern 3. Slowly. Pattern 4, slowly. So you can always play with sliding down to other positions so you start getting comfortable moving between them, right? Always encourage that. Always sliding up, sliding down, moving around a little bit. Starting maybe going up one pattern, then coming up one to the next pattern and coming back down the next pattern, sliding back down, going up the next pattern, that kind of thing, just to get yourself used to switching between patterns. And now the last pattern, the 5th pattern. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Okay. So what I encourage you to do is play them all. Try to. You can use a metronome if you want to, but you can get used to keeping the time in your head. You can use a metronome if you like, and then speeding the time up to see how you can improve. What I would suggest is that you play clean always, because it's very easy to sound like you're doing it right and clean on distortion, but it might not be so clean. So play clean at first and try to get it as smooth and clean as you can, running up and down at a certain pace, whatever the tempo is that you choose. Put it on a metronome. You can find them online on apps, free. Everything's great. You can find them on YouTube, So start at a slower pace, comfortable pace for you, where you can consistently do it all the way up, all the way down, do it on all 5 patterns, and then come back and speed up your metronome a little bit, and then try to do a little faster. So what I mean is start like this pace, like how we did it already, that pace, and then go a little bit faster. So like... could speed it up a little bit more. So when you get that clean and your hands, you feel got the pace good, you're not missing any notes or trying to rush through it, you feel like you're rushing through it, your fingers can't go that fast. If you feel like that, keep redoing it at that tempo. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it until it gets easy for you to do it at that tempo, okay? And then speed your tempo up a little bit faster, there you go. Okay, and then keep doing that. Keep speeding up, have fun with it. You can see how fast you can go, but try to prioritize getting it clean and smooth first. Very clean, where you don't hear any popping, cracking, any of those things. That you're pressing down hard enough on every note and you're hitting the notes clean with your finger. In other words, you're going in the correct spot to get a clean sound out of the note. All right? So play around with that. Let me know what you think. You can also, if you have any questions, let me know as always. If there's anything you want to see on the channel, let me know. If you have any tutorials you want to see, any songs you're learning, you have questions about, things like that. But also for this, you can play around with different ways to run up and down the scale. Maybe I'll put a few different ones on here, but you can even skip strings. So you can play with, this is when you really get into like, you know, getting your fingers, it's all to get your fingers used to things. And remember, you don't have to just do the exercises on the scales like this. I also encourage you to learn songs, learn solos, right? Something that's approachable, something that you feel like you can do right now. I'm going to start putting some solo tutorials on here, so if there's any you're learning and you'd like to see tutorial about, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to start with the ones that I like. So I'll get Sweet Child of Mine is always one of my favorite solos to play, so I'll get that on here eventually. That'll be a long one in 6 parts. But if you have any more beginner or more introductory solos that you like to learn, let me know, and I'll see if I can get those on here. Okay. So until next time, take care. Happy practicing. Enjoy practicing. Have fun. Okay. And until then, take care. See ya.